Hello, how are you? I want to ask you some question if you don't mind. How do you think about the advantages and disadvantages of the public transport in Republic of Uzbekistan?
As everything has its merits and demerits, public transport has its pros and cons. I think it has more positive sides than negative sides. For example, it's cheap and kind of reasonable for students, any kind of local people, but there is one disadvantage side of it. For example, there is no enough seats for
Public.
passengers, and that's why I think most of the times passengers will disagree to use public transport. There may be taxi or some kind of vehicles.
Okay, so what kind of public transport will you choose when you are going to somewhere?
Okay, especially it depends on what kind of place that I will go. For example, when I hurry to go somewhere, I more choose to use taxi. But if there is no problem with time, I will actually choose the public transport.
Okay, so if you have a chance to change in our underground public transportation, what will you change?
Admittedly, there are so many things that we should change about transport system. For example, if I speak about public transport like buses, we should add some air conditions to there, and there should be more seats for passengers, I think, and it will be very beneficial for every passenger if the passengers like female and males seats will be
Separate.
separate.
Hello, how are you? I
Great.
want to ask you some question if you don't mind.
Okay.
I recently asked from some people about their opinion, and I want to ask you also. What do you think about the advantages and disadvantages of public transport in Republic of Uzbekistan?
It's really good question for me because I am a student of university and I use the public transport. And when it comes to disadvantages and also merits of this public transportation system, first I want to talk about the minus sides of public transport. Firstly, tidiness and also security, and also sometimes we come across disease in the public transport because we know that there are so many people in our country use the public transport, so we may catch up some viruses, also flus. And when it comes to the merits of this public transport system in our country, I can talk about the price of our public transportation system because it's really cheaper compared to another type of transport.
Okay, so what would you prefer if we compare bus and taxis?
I can say yes, without a doubt. It really depends on the situation because if I have enough time to go somewhere or to get somewhere, always I choose the bus, and because it's price. And when it comes to taxi, I always choose a taxi if I in a hurry. So because taxi is more frequently compared to the bus.
Okay, so what kind of comfortabilities and uncomfortabilities you feel when you are get onto the bus?
Okay, it's really good question for me because how can you say I said use bus, and I think there are some comfortabilities that the seats and also the rate of the bus, because sometimes bus drivers drive the bus quick, and but I think also there is another side of the situation that the lack of our bus and also lack of seats in the bus, because we know that when we get in the bus, always we cannot find seats, seats and a two seat, because there are so many older people and also so many girls, and we cannot seat the places. And I can say the area of the buses, because and also when I got the bus, always I come across problems that related to the air, because bus environment is really hot to breathe, and I think air conditioner should be added the buses.
Okay, thank you for your answer first. Take care of
Okay.
yourself.
Okay.
Excuse me, hello, excuse me, how are you? May I ask you some question?
Okay.
What would you prefer, buses or taxi in our country?
Actually, I choose buses because it's very cheap, and it's very comfortable to us to get somewhere or to get some our studies. It's also if you choose your go to some your university or other it's also easy and fast transportation. Maybe sometimes it will late, but it's I think it's very comfortable to our public peoples when they go to their works. It's okay for it.
Okay, so I have one more question.
Okay.
What do you think about the drawbacks of public transportation?
I think the drawback, the main con sides of transportation is it's sometimes late our bus, because there are some traffic jams and other types of peoples may late, and that's why our transportation will late. And other con sides of the transportation system is, when the public get on the bus, there's no sufficient enough air to breathe, and there's adult people there, and they cannot breathe fresh air. If the air conditioning is will be added, it will be very comfortable to our peoples, and it's also comfortable to our health. You can breathe fresh oxygen, and you can also have the chance of so that's all.
Yes, it's also my point.
Yes.
Thank you for your answer.
Thanks.
You
Bye.
take care.
Bye.